What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the market thus far, what the economic data is going to be suggesting, and some new news about Tesla that's helping this thing continue to hold up. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So anyways, let's talk about the Cybertruck event. Let's talk about how this is looking thus far. As a reminder, guys, we have the Cybertruck events coming out for Thursday, the last day of November at 1 p.m. Central Time. And as we're approaching the event, we're seeing more buyers stepping into Tesla, and we got a very, very nice breakout for today. Since yesterday, I was saying that you're going to be watching this resistance at 238 on Tesla. If Tesla broke 238, you'd be expecting some more upside. Same thing right over here. We saw this get tested 3 times. We saw Tesla get tighter and tighter and tighter as time went on. So that was suggesting there's going to be a very volatile move coming. On top of that, I mentioned to you all that if we got the breakout, you'd be watching this imbalance right over here, right? We have this big imbalance. We have a lot of volume that's starting to return to Tesla. And I told you that we have a target of at least 242.5 to be tested if we get that breakout. That's where Tesla shot up to exactly. We're currently at 242.6, and it could go even higher. If we keep breaking out, the next level is going to be 244. Above that, we have 245, 247, and 250 coming next. We could see Tesla just continue to run as the hype is up there for the Cybertruck event. Now, moving forward, I just want to call out that the market ended up getting a breakout, and this happened after all this data was released. So, what data came out? As a reminder, we had the house price index a little bit hotter than expected, but everything else was close to expectations. Consumer confidence was aligned with the forecast, not bad whatsoever. But all this data dropped, and the market ended up dropping initially. And it wasn't until like 45 minutes later, near the time that Bowman started his speech, there were other pieces of news as well that came out, but the market eventually got a breakout later on. I'm going to break down the charts in just a few minutes. For tomorrow, I just want to remind you all we have the GDP numbers coming out an hour before market opens. Uh, before market open, if anything, I just want to mention that if you're comfortable with holding overnight, if you want to, bets that the market's going to go higher, you could do that if you want, and there's a good chance you're going to be right. There's a very, very good chance, but there is some risk with holding overnight because of the GDP numbers coming out an hour before market open. So it's your choice. It could cause the market to gap up or gap down, but if anything, the charts still look bullish. Tesla still looks bullish nonetheless. Now, there's some news with Nvidia announcing new products, Amazon as well announcing a new AI chip, allowing it to compete more with Nvidia and other companies like that, which is pretty interesting. But Tesla, of all things, is continuing to break out, and the hype involving the Cybertruck is playing a big role. So with Tesla breaking out, you're going to be watching this resistance at 244. If we break this, you're going to be watching this approach 245 next. And above that, we have 247 or very close to that. And then 250 is going to come next pretty easily if we end up getting above that resistance. There's not a whole lot stopping Tesla between those zones, and there is definitely more upside potential. But right now, Tesla's testing 242.5, so watch that resistance. For support, we have 240 and then 238 to 239. As of right now, we look bullish, and it looks like Tesla has more upside potential. I also want to call out that as far as Tesla goes, the 4 hour is looking bullish as this thing is showing more and more life. If you go back to the daily chart, you will see that the daily is also looking bullish if we do end up getting a close like this. So it looks good. Looks like we're going to see more hype for Tesla. And if I zoom out of the chart like this, you will see that we have a cup and handle forming on Tesla for a potential break to the upside. And I could see this thing push even higher as time goes on. So it looks bullish. Looks like it's going to try to break out more, at least approaching the Cybertruck event. We will see if the Cybertruck event is a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. If there's a sell off after the event happens, there's a risk of that, but we're not ready for that to happen yet. As of right now, we're still approaching the events. We'll be watching this carefully. As far as SPY goes, SPY is holding up decently. We're at 455.5 right now, but we still look bullish. Uh, Now, for the short term, let me just call out how SPY was looking. Something very important was happening. I just want to call this out. So SPY basically had this channel, right? And I told you all that we're going to assume SPY will remain in this channel and do not turn bearish unless we truly break below the channel like this. If we got this break like this and we came down to like 452 and lost it, I would turn more bearish. But if the opposite happened, let me actually fix this for you. If the opposite happened and we ended up breaking, above the channel like this, if we broke this in this 455 resistance, I would turn bullish and we did expect this thing to start pushing up quite nicely. And that's what happened. We got the bullish breakout from this flag, and that's once again a bullish setup. So I told you to watch the chart to see which way we break. Do not turn too bullish or too bearish. And if you had been waiting and you watched it, you would notice that we never truly broke this bottom support. We never truly broke this white trend line. We ended up bouncing off and we got the real breakout right here. And this was just a fake out by the market makers. They faked out retail thinking that this was going to crash. Instead, we just saw the opposite play out. So now what's going on with SPY? It's cooling off just a bit, but overall the chart is starting to turn bullish. SPY on the daily looks decent. The 4-hour still has a somewhat bullish looking candlestick unless we could get one more push, but there's definitely more potential for it to go higher. So we have support at 455.5. Below that, we have 455. Then we have the previous breakout trend line, which is going to act as our support around 454.8, depending on the timing. And then below that, we have 454.5. For resistance, you're going to be watching 456. If we break that, watch 456.4. Above that, we have 457, 457.5, and then 458. In my opinion, the chart right now got a bullish breakout. I think that overall we're favoring the bulls a bit more. They ended up squeezing shorts once again. And if you look at this, the 4-hour is trying to curl a little bit off this move. So if we could break 456.38 by tomorrow, we could see another push to the upside, and there's definitely more potential for it to go a little bit higher. I know it's not what a lot of people wanted for me to say, but there is still potential for it to push one more time. And if we do get the push up, we could still establish a quadruple bearish divergence and then eventually get a break to the downside in early December. But it looks like we're not ready to sell off yet. The breakdown is not ready yet, and we could still push higher, at least for the time being. This benefits Tesla and other stocks because this gives Tesla a bigger edge. So far, we're favoring the bulls a bit more, so make sure you watch your levels on the charts. We have a head and shoulders like pattern developing on the QQQ, at least we had it, but this ended up being a trap. We didn't actually see the QQQ break below 388. I told you guys to watch support at 388. If we broke that, we would see more bearish price action. We ended up failing to do so. We ended up holding 388, pushing back up. Now we're kind of range trading around 390. If we break 391, we could turn more bullish and start pushing higher towards 393. Then we have 394 above that. For bearish, you want to see it come down towards 388. As of right now, we're holding up on the QQQ. So we're going to be watching this 390 area to see if we could close around here. As of right now, it's holding up, and it looks like it's still range trading. So we've been stuck between supply and demand for the last 3-4 days. So it may just continue to range trade, but it's not looking like it's super bearish yet. And my opinion has changed a bit on it because of this change we're seeing in technicals. For Nvidia, Nvidia is not looking too bad. It's actually holding up decently. One could argue that Nvidia has an inverse head and shoulders, and this thing could get a breakout. If we try to break 485, it could start pushing and get close to at least 490. There is some potential with the inverse head and shoulders, but we're going to be watching to see if this could hold up. I'm also going to be watching this imbalance at 483. So there is potential for Nvidia to try to bounce a bit. There is some potential for that, but we just have to be a little patient and see if we could get some kind of bounce or some kind of breakout. As of right now, it's trading in the very low 480s, but I still think there's some potential for it to bounce as we've established this inverse head and shoulders, and so far it's holding up decently. I will turn bearish if we lose 474. If we lose that, I'm going to turn bearish. I think it's going to come down to 468 to 470 if that's the case. If we break 485 and we start testing the 490s, I'm going to turn bullish and think it's going to start pushing back up towards these imbalances. In my opinion, I'm currently a little in the middle, but I think there's some potential for it to go higher looking at the inverse head and shoulders and also this imbalance over here. So I think there's more potential for Nvidia to try to get closer to the higher 480s, if anything, and we might see a temporary bounce. Not saying it's going to last forever, just temporarily. We're going to be watching this very carefully nonetheless. Last but not least, for Apple stock, this is in the middle. I told you if we lost support around this 189 area, watch 188. Now we turn bearish if we came down there. I told you if you want to be bullish. We want to see this thing break 191. We haven't really done either, but we have an inverse head and shoulders on Aapl that could push it a bit higher, and we could see this thing trying to test 191. We're kind of range trading in the 190s for now. We may just continue to do so between 190 flat and 191. And I think that it might just remain range bound as time goes on, but this inverse head and shoulders has merit and it could try to push higher thanks to that. So this could help the markets temporarily push up. We could see the market hold up decently for now, but like I said earlier, guys, there is still potential for the market to go higher. And that doesn't necessarily mean that there will not be a pullback in December or a little bit later. I still think that there could be a pullback coming, okay? But we're not ready thus far. We're not ready yet. There's no sign of us getting a healthy pullback yet. And it could be delayed once again because of these shorts continuing to get squeezed. It could be because of market maker manipulation. So just be patient, do what you have to do, and watch your charts, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Once again, Tesla's holding up very, very nicely. There's more upside potential for sure. I think that we could see Tesla get a bullish breakout now that we got this confirmation of a break. I think that the cybertruck event is going to lead to more hype, so we could see more upside on Tesla. We could see this thing try to get closer to 244 very soon, if not above that, 245, then like 250, if anything. So Tesla has potential. I'm anticipating some more upside for Tesla. And I think that if anything, it's very important to watch these levels and to be patient. I'm excited about the Cybertruck events, but don't forget that after the event, Tesla could still sell off because of a buy the rumor, sell the news effect. So just be careful. But for now, we are bullish. So watch your resistance levels and we'll play the charts until we approach the big event. All right. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.